So today we'll be talking about the Bolton Tools M55 Ironworker that we have out here in front of us. When you purchase this machine, it will come with a center shear, which is right in here, and a 5/8 notcher. Anything else on this machine is an additional accessory. The punch is 5/8. Now the notcher over here does not come with it. Just the center shear and the die. So starting this machine up on startup, there's a couple things you need to know. One is make sure your emergency stop is not engaged, and go ahead and this is a 220 volt 3-phase unit. If you do not have the right phase power coming to this unit, you'll probably, most likely, it won't turn on, or if it does turn on, it'll just hum and it will not operate for you. So make sure it's 220 3-phase. Emergency button's disengaged. Go ahead and hit the power button, and as you can tell, it kicks on. 90% of the time on initial startup, these units do not operate if you just step on this foot pedal down here. This is not operating. Stepping on the foot pedal, that's fine. Take a screwdriver, some piece of metal, and all you have to do is step on the pedal to engage the unit, and for it to know that there's an operator there, just touch the contact, and this red light on the sensor will turn red, and you'll see how it happens. So once you kick that sensor into play, it'll realize, hey, there's someone here trying to operate, let's get it done. And it will start its process. Now, there are two switches here. Manual, which is what we're on right now, and then there's an auto cut. So manual is having your foot on the pedal at all times, manual. If I take my foot off that pedal, the machine stops. If I switch over to auto cut, once I step down on that machine's going until you make it stop. That's just auto cut feed. It'll keep going up and down, up and down. Kick it back into manual, you have more control, obviously. And that is the general layout and operation startup for our Bolton Tools M55 Ironworker. Alright, so we're going to go over the M55 punch, show you how it's done. We have the standard 5/8 die on here right now. We do have accessory sized dies. You can find those on our website. So I'm just going to show you the general how the punch works. So safety glasses, of course, don't forget. And we're just going to take a hinge, for example. Now, as you can tell, when the punch went through, it popped our hole in the hinge, nice, clear, clean. But when it came back up, this safety guard actually brought the punch back out of the raw material. That's what these guards are for, not only the facial safety of, you know, popping something off in your shop. It protects you, and it helps separate the material from the punch itself. Okay, so now we're over on the notching end of the machine for the M55. Good thing about this remote foot pedal, it's on a pretty extensive cord. It's great for moving from side to side all around the machine. Right now we have a V piece of steel here. Our side's too long. We kind of want to even it out to here or just shear it flat so we can use it in the center shear. But first we have to run it through the notcher. So what we'll do is we'll just line this up right about there. machine doesn't want to work because I use the emergency shutoff. And all we have to do is engage the sensor. And there we go. So I'm going to actually let this cycle through once, let it get back to its top position, and then we'll get to work. As you can tell, it's not perfect. My eyesight's a little crooked, but it got the job done. So we're just going to move it down a little ways so we can use this for the shear itself. Alright, so it's not the best, not the beautiful, but it'll work. So what we're going to do is move on to the shear and show you how to cut something like that. Alright, so last but not least on the M55 is we have a flat bar shear down here, and you have angle shear. So for the angle shear, we have the same piece of steel here that we cut the edges off of, and we hammered the back end down and kind of spread the V out, so it actually fits right in here. So we're going to show you how to set this in. Just slides right in and goes out the back. We want about, say, 5 inches left on this piece. So once it's in, we'll go around and show you how to set the throat depth. Alright, so we're setting the throat depth. This guide is our material set up to where we want it. So we just need to slide it down the guide, stop it right about here, tighten that up. If we need to come in some, just move this in. That's too far. So right there's center. It's great. Tighten this sucker down. We got our shear guard on top, so metal doesn't fly out the back end, up in the sky or anything, become a working hazard. So we're ready to shear. Let's get at it. Alright, so our workpiece is set, throat depth. I can't go past my mark back here because it won't allow me. I'm right at about, say, 7 inches or so from where the shear actually is, 7 to 8 inches. This is good for us for instructional purposes. So we'll start the machine up. We're going to keep it in manual mode, have more control of the item. So the machine's up and running, and we should be good to go. Remember, initial startup, you need that screwdriver to activate that sensor. Make sure your foot's on the pedal, sensor's activated, and as you can tell, cut it like butter. So that sums up the M55, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Leave comments, and we will show you now just the back end and the more precise details on setting the throat depth and what the chute does and your grease spots. Thanks. Alright, so here we are on setting the throat depth. As we left off, this is how you set your throat depth when using the shear itself. So this bottom lever here, once it's loosened, you can actually bring it down the guideway, and this throat depth maxes out at 7.5 inches. Once you set your throat depth, you can also set the width of the depth for the throat. If you have a wider piece, coming out, going in, etc., etc. So that's pretty much easy hands-on throat depth setting. Here we have our chute, just trap chutes for anything coming out of the machine that's already been cut. There's plenty of room behind this M55 Ironworker so that you can just set up a trash disposal or anything like that, and it'll just shoot right down. You have your shear guards for safety around the shop. Make sure anything that's coming out doesn't pop out of the machine, become a hazard to the working environment. And lastly, are grease spots. You will have grease gun spots here that you need to lube daily. There's about a dozen of them on this machine all over, and they're all located around a yellow grease daily warning sign. 90% of them, there's a couple that aren't, but you can see that when you get your hands on the M55. And we just want to go ahead and thank you for shopping at Bolton Tools, and hope you enjoy our product and leave us some comments. Thank you.